Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you my wish list. So this is something that I refer to quite a lot because I'm a slow buyer and I do take my time in selecting pieces that would just make me happy every day that I have them. So it is not unusual for me to have something on my wish list for quite a few years until I bite the bullet, and it does not matter how much the item is. I just want to be happy with my purchase. So sometimes you will have things on my wish list that are very small, like just a blush, and others that are very big purchases, like a piece of jewelry. But I thought to share with you my list that has been brewing for the past few months. It's not something where I would probably make quite a lot of progress. You've probably all been hearing everywhere around about the cost of living crisis and a lot of people struggling, and there are no mentions of job insecurities though. People still say it is a job seeker market, but it does not matter what type of investment you're looking at. I had done a video before about my investment philosophy where I said that there are certain things that I consider as an investment for the future. There are things that are investment in me as a person, the way I feel, the way I look, my energy, my ability to be productive, etc. So not everything is as liquid as cash. So this is why, although I have a wish list, I'm working very slowly through it because I want to give myself a certain stability and the feel of if something were to go wrong, I wouldn't be too devastated. So I'm very, very slow in that regard. But with that intro, let me show you the items that I have been eyeing for months. Some of them I'm already making progress on, and others are still going to be in that wish list for quite a while. The first item is this Fabergé ring. It was on my wish list for quite some time, and then I ended up just buying it a few months ago. So I really like it because it has different stones. So you have all kinds of sapphires, you have a ruby, you have a diamond, and basically I can rotate it to suit whatever outfit I am wearing. And this is my first piece of white gold. I always gravitated towards yellow gold or rose gold because I was always told that that's what suits my complexion. But for some reason, when I tried this on, I also had tried it in yellow gold. This just stood out, and I have been wearing it a lot. It's my only ring that fits in my middle finger, and I just find it quite fresh. So I am quite surprised at how often I wear it because it just works with everything. Even when I'm just very casual, I just love it. It's just so playful. So this is something that I bought a few months ago, and that was my last purchase for a while from my wish list. Then, because I noticed that I really like rings more than any other piece of jewelry, I do have a few, let's say, a few rings in my wish list. So the next one would be the Coco Crush by Chanel. This is a quilted ring. It comes in a large size that is pretty wide, a medium one that is a bit thicker than the Clash by Cartier, and then a thin one that is about this width. I personally want to get the large one, and I want to use it as a pinky ring, just a mass of gold in here, and I just think it would be a bit edgy. I am really not edgy, but I have noticed that for once I started wearing multiple rings. Not the case today, but I am starting to enjoy actually having more than one ring, which is something that I did not used to do before. I have rings for pretty much every finger except my thumb and my little small finger. So I'm just thinking of getting that one. It's not too ornate, and I think it would be fun. I find myself playing with rings quite a lot. Then there is the Van Cleef Frivole ring. That one is very, very bright. I have seen it a few times. I never tried it. I don't like to try on things unless I'm relatively close to when I want to buy them. But the way it sparks is just unbelievable. I think there is something about some of the Van Cleef pieces that just makes them so sparkly, and the way they catch the light. I already said I'm not buying Alhambra right now just because I think it's a bit saturated. So I'm going to wait a few years until I invest in one of those pieces. And it would probably be the guilloche one just because it, again, it's so bright and I think it's less delicate. I don't want things that are delicate. I want to use my things and not have to wipe them and worry about them getting all sweaty, etc. So the frivole ring is quite big, quite chunky, and just one of those statement rings that a few years ago I would probably not have worn. But now as I'm getting older, I do have a bit of a bolder style. I am more comfortable with bigger things. So yeah. Next I have two watches. Both are from the same brand. And surprisingly, it's a German brand. It's not very known outside of the watch world. So most people, when you ask them about a watch brand, they would say Rolex. I don't buy into Rolex, but I really like this brand. It's called Alange. It's based in Glashütte. It's not a very, very, very old brand. I mean, it used to be an old brand, then it stopped, then it was revived a few years ago, like 20 or 30 years ago. I like the craftsmanship. I like how actually when they put the pieces together, like the watches together, they will assemble every single piece, make sure that the mechanism works, disassemble it to polish it, and then assemble it again. So assembling a watch is already quite time consuming, but they do it twice just to be sure. That's their attention to detail. The apprentices that they have, because it's not the same market as in Switzerland where everybody and their dog actually works in the watch industry, they have to hire people exclusively to work for them, and they will have to go through the apprenticeship program and stay with them for years. So whatever watches are produced are made by people who have been with the house since they were young, and obviously that limits the production, but it just tells you how dedicated they are, because the watch industry is not really such a thing in Germany. So the first model is Saxonia. This is one that is relatively small. It fits on the wrist. I actually have that watch on order because as you know, I really love having my engraving of my initials on pretty much everything. And so I did something quite special in that when you take a watch and you flip it, there is something called the balance cock. It's very small. It's like the size of this fingernail. And every artisan would actually engrave it in their own style. So I had one of the 6 artisans who do that specific piece of the watch engrave my initials. What this means is that my watch is built specifically for me and will have my initials. It will not be visible to the naked eye. I will need a loupe probably to see it, and it's just a little detail that makes me happy. I ordered my watch in February and I expect it sometime in July, August or September. So this is also why I'm slowing down in my wish list, because I paid for part of it and I'm currently saving so that I can pay for the full amount once I have received it. It's very simple face. It does not have numbers, it just has little buttons. It's very understated. So even the strap is an understated reddish brown color, which I do not have, and so I'm quite excited to receive it. I mean, since February I've been very, very excited, and I think sometimes it's not always about the instant gratification. It's also about knowing that there is a whole team of people who are painstakingly building the small little pieces one by one. The second watch that I'm looking at from Alange has not been made or designed yet, so it would be close to the little Lange one that they have. So it's a small watch. It has a moon phase. But what I want is a watch that has a white dial, not champagne, I mean a white dial, and that would have a blue moon phase. So Alange have a very special blue. The way you see the moon phase change, that color is sublime. I've never seen it in any other watch. And so I am waiting for when they launch something like that, because they did make a little langa that is all mother of pearl. They did make one that is all blue, but then you do not have that specific, and they do have moon phases, but the moon phase is the same color as the dial, whereas I want the blue of that moon phase. So maybe in a few years they will make it. When they will make it, I will get it. And the reason I'm getting the little langa is simply because of my wrist size. This is something that people don't think about much, but it's very difficult to get a watch that has some complications, but that is small enough for my wrist. And it's not about getting a men's watch and then doing everything smaller. When you want to fit it in a smaller dial or a smaller face, you have to rebuild the entire mechanism, redesign it so that it fits. So it is quite a feat of engineering. Their watches are very expensive, but they're expensive because of the watchmaking, not because somebody decided to stick some diamonds on it. And that's the difference. I really like everything to have a story. I'm fine paying for gemstones, etc., but that would be for jewelry, that wouldn't be for a watch. When I'm paying money, solid money for a watch, I want it to be for the watchmaking, not because you stuck some bright rocks on it. The next item is probably not new, but it's new to me. So what happened recently is that I saw Cartier do a campaign because they launched some new items in the Clash series, like the Clash family of jewelry. It's called Clash Unlimited, but they launched certain things that are double. So you know how Clash has a certain width, but they launched earrings that are double, a ring that is double. And as I was looking through that, I was thinking, you know, I really want hoops, proper hoops. I've had hoops on my list for a few years now. I still didn't buy them. And then as I was looking at the double hoops, I saw that they had single hoops. And now I'm thinking I really want them. I'm hesitating whether to get these ones or to get from another brand. But what I will do is that in a few months I will go and try them on. And if I love them, I will take them. But that will be well after I get my Alain Gazuna Saxonia watch, which is currently still being made in Glashütte. I'm going to cut this with shoes, just to add a bit of variety. And these shoes are very weird and unusual for me. So the other day I was at a Gucci store with my sister because she was buying loafers, like the normal loafers, you know, the cult ones. And when we were there, I saw these shoes that have a square toe, a very weird chunky heel and horse bit details. And they were a very bright green. They caught my attention and I was like going back and forth. Then my sister said, try them on. And the moment I tried them on, it was unbelievable. Like the way they made my legs look, the fact that it was square toe, which was for me like a no-no, made it that actually my toes are not squished. You know how a lot of shoes are so triangular that actually your toes would go like this? My toes were still comfortable. That super chunky heel made it that actually I had some stability, because as you guys know, I have lots of foot issues, including stability, and that sandal just felt fine. My right foot is still a bit swollen because it is still healing from my surgery, but even with that, I didn't feel like these shoes constrained it much. They were out of my size. They were sold out of my size everywhere. So I thought about it for 2 or 3 days, and then I wrote to the SA and I said, look, if you manage to get these to London in my size, I will come and take them. And that is extremely unusual because I didn't look at them because they're trendy, you know, I'm anything but trendy. But it just, the way they fit, and my sister said you have to take them. So we'll see. We'll see in a few weeks or months. If I hear back from the SA, I will get them and add them to my list, to my collection of shoes. Next is a ring from Hermes. Now, everybody who thinks of Hermes thinks of their beautiful silk scarves, the twillies, the expensive hard to get bags like the Birkin, the Kelly, the Constance. I actually was looking at their jewelry. it is not super expensive. When you think about the price difference between an Hermes bag and another bag, it's quite high. When you look at jewelry, it's actually priced the same, if not lower than other brands. And one of the rings I was looking at is something called Mini Clou. And it's just a bit geometric, and it's in rose gold. And I was thinking, it's so dainty, but at the same time a bit edgy. So I really like it. I'm not going to get it now. It will probably be late summer or something like that. We will see about that, because I need to see how things fit together in my collection. I don't want to accumulate things and not wear them. And I have been loving my rings, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. Next thing on my wish list is an intangible. It's not really an object, but it's actually a haircut. I have been craving like a haircut during lockdown. One of the lockdowns, by the time I lost track, I just started cutting my own hair, and now it just looks like a mushroom. So I want to get layers back. I want to get a fringe, and I want this volume, all this great volume, to actually make sense. So I have booked myself for a Deva cut. There is a salon in London that does it. It's called Unruly Curls. And I booked the cut with the director, which means that I have to wait until the 3rd week of July to get it done. But I've already booked it, and it's my treat to myself. Now, because my hair has gotten long, I was wearing it in like 7 or 8 twists back, or sometimes just pull it in a ponytail and call it a day. But I decided that in anticipation for my cut, I'm going to start wearing it down a bit more, just to allow my curls to kind of settle before I go and do my cut, because it's just not a good thing to go when you've been wearing your hair in a bun for months at a time and just go and have a haircut and think, oh, and now I'm going to just live that style. No, I think you always regret your hairstyle if you didn't actually go in there being truthful to what your lifestyle is and what you're actually going to do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not going to go there and like detangle my hair and go with my hair perfectly coiffed and gelled and whatever, and then when they cut it, I'm not happy afterwards. So I decided to just style it the way I would style it after I get my haircut, which is I just shower in the morning, I put on some conditioner, I shake it, and I'm out. I don't put on a lot of conditioner, I don't put on hair mask, I don't put on a gel, so I'm not going to have the curl definition that you see on Instagram. And so when I go to get the haircut, they will see my hair like this, and they will have to make it work like this, so that when I wake up, I shower, I shake it, I'm happy with the result. So very excited about that. I haven't worn my hair curly in ages because it just looks like a mushroom. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. Yeah. Then I have maybe 3 more items to share with you. One more ring, one final ring, and it's the Chaumet Be My Love. I love Chaumet. I love the way they do their jewelry. Be My Love is extremely brilliant. I've never, I think it's so clever the way they did it, because these are some hexagons. You have skinny ones, you have thick ones, you have ones with diamonds, etc. And they're all stackable. Whomever came up with that idea of having something that is perfectly stackable is just a genius, because you could put 3 of them and it looks like a big thick ring. You could put them in every finger. They have multiple, the way they've done the polishing on the facets, that thing is very bright from afar, so it looks almost like you have stones even when you don't have stones, it's just the metal. And so I want to get 1 or 2 of them and just play with those. They've been on my wish list for a long time, even before this one. Then the shoes, the last shoes I wanted to get are from Baudouin & Lange, which is a brand where I buy my loafers from. I have 3 loafers from them. I probably would show them if I film my shoe collection. These are supposed to be like sneakers for grown-ups. So they would have suede top and then some kind of rubber lining. They're very comfortable. I've tried them on. I want them in the saffron color. The reason I didn't buy them is because I wanted to get them and then wear them on a trip. I have cancelled that trip, and I know that they're not going to disappear. So I just decided to give it a few months until right before I go on a trip, and then I can always get them. And that's the thing. I mean, it's not such a need that I need to have it. And also, these are beautiful summery shoes, and we are in June and it is raining and gray. It's miserable. So if I get the shoes now, I will probably not wear them for a few weeks, so why bother? So they are on my wish list, safely tucked in there, and then when the moment is right, I will just get them. Last two items are clothing items. One is a sweater. It's a marinière, or as in English they call them Breton top or something, but it's a marinière, which is a sailor's jumper. And I want to get one from St. James. So they make these original ones. You can get them from any brand, mostly French brands, but you can get them from pretty much any brand. Everybody makes them because people like that nautical seashore style. I just want to get the real deal. I want to get the St. James one. Again, I'm not going on vacation anytime soon. Not that I would wear them on vacation. I'd probably wear them also on weekends, etc. But I just cannot justify getting it now. So it is on my wish list. Whenever I have gone through more items of my wish list, I would probably just get that one and be very happy and keep it for decades, because that's what I do with very good clothing items. So that's the thing. It's not a marinière that I would buy and then I would change in 5 years. Kind of like with my Aran sweaters. Remember my beautiful Aran sweaters? I wear them to death, and I'm going to be wearing them 20 years from now, so just saying. That's why I'm very, very picky about these kind of things. And the last item is a sweater too, and that one I might not be able to find it, and I'm fine with that. But it's from last autumn's collection, from the Ralph Lauren collection, and it is a Fair Isle brown sweater. I've seen that on so many models. I've seen that in the store, and every time I will just gravitate towards it. I think it was eye-wateringly expensive, and I didn't get it. And I will still never get it full price. But if I were to come across it in a few months or even years, I would get it. It was perfection. It's soft, beautiful. The gradient of colors just would look sublime on my skin tone. But is it a necessity? No. Is it the same type of investment as getting a beautiful watch, getting a beautiful piece of jewelry? No. Is it going to affect my day-to-day like a nice haircut? No. So it is at the bottom of my list. And that is it. So this is actually my current wish list. Obviously, it keeps evolving. As you can see, there are certain items that I just go and buy. There are certain items that I pre-order, certain things that I pay a little bit for and then wait. I'm very determined to get the things that I like, but I don't do it at any price. I have to still have my peace of mind. I have to still be able to afford my lifestyle. I have still to have my safety net. So yeah, this is how I go about it. I hope you enjoyed my wish list, and I'll see you soon on my channel. Take care.